For Ar-Pharazon wavered at the end, and almost he turned back. His heart misgave him when he looked upon the soundless shores and saw Taniquetil shining, whiter than snow, colder than death, silent, immutable, terrible as the shadow of the light of Iluvatar. But pride was now his master, and at last he left his ship and strode upon the shore, claiming the land for his own. Hello and welcome to all the men and women of the West. I'm Joe. Today we're discussing Ar-Pharazon and his recent reputation in some parts of the fandom. I've noticed that amongst a lot of some forums that there's been an active attempt to kind of whitewash, so to speak, Ar-Pharazon's reputation and to defend his actions. The problem I have with that is this is a character who committed human sacrifice, committed incest. He raped his cousin on top of, burnt the white tree that was the ancestor of the white tree of Gondor. He built his society up into a dystopia after the golden reign of Tar-Palantir. He took the throne by force. He committed every imaginable atrocity one can imagine. Slavery, rape, murder, you name it, he did it. And yet there is a contingent of the fan base which is vehemently defensive towards him and think he should get a redemption arc. And that when the text talks about him being buried under a mountain, he is obviously going to get, according to them, it's obvious according to them, it's not actually obvious in the text, that he will get a redemption arc during Dagor-Dagorath. In the Silmarillion it says, "But Ar-Pharazon the king and the mortal warriors that had set foot upon the land of Aman were buried under falling hills. There it is said that they lie imprisoned in the caves of the forgotten until the last battle in the day of doom." Now, to some this feels like, aha! He's redeemed! Gotcha, Joe! Gotcha, everyone! No, this does not speak of redemption. What's more is the last part of that paragraph, Day of Doom. Nowhere else been said about Dagor-Dagorath that is the Day of Doom. Just the last battle. Which hints at one thing about Ar-Pharazon. And given how he's written so far, he's treated as the most abominable king imaginable. This man wanted to commit not only almost every atrocity, but also defy the gods and try to throw them down so that he could claim immortality for himself. He's arrogant, he's evil, he's cruel, and he has no mercy for anyone. We've got the text which says one thing, people saying another. Now, I will propose to you an alternative epilogue, or part of the Dagor-Dagorath prophecy. I would propose that it would probably fall more in line with Tolkien's intent that Ar-Pharazon and his mortal warriors that are in the caves of the Forgotten will rise up in Dagor-Dagorath on the side of Morgoth. I would even venture to say it would be fitting if Elendil or Isildur or even Aragorn were to defeat him on that day. And it is one of those three that end up throwing him down at last and finally putting the shadow of Numenor in a way to rest. That would be more fitting. I think it falls more in line with Tolkien's style if Ar-Pharazon is not redeemed. If he fights on the side of Morgoth and ends up, as stated, falling in battle in the name of Morgoth against, the forces of light. One could even suggest that maybe tactically, during the battle of Dagor-Dagorath, Morgoth tries a pincer action with Ar-Pharazon on one side of the board, and on the other you have Morgoth. So that he's trying to pincer the armies of Eru and Manwë. This action does not succeed. I would propose maybe one of the three Numenorian kings mentioned earlier at last sword him to death. They throw him down, defeat him. The last great evil of Numenor is laid to rest by the good kings of Numenor, so to speak. Basically, those descended from Numenor who are heroic and valiant of heart. Now, if it's Elendil, it would basically be cousin versus cousin. And it's fitting that Elendil puts to rest this cousin he once loved and came to despise. If it's Isildur is an anti-hero who I would want redemption for. And I think all fans would want him redeemed and to be able to wipe his name clean of the black mark that Sauron's One Ring left on him. If it's Elisar, or Aragorn as we all know him, Aragorn, it would be fitting for the most heroic king of the line of Elros to throw down the most evil king of the line of Elros. Now, that's all I got. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and tell me who you think should throw down Ar-Pharazon in Dagor-Dagorath, and why. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to smash that subscribe button, like Sauron trying to smash Gil-galad and Elendil.